All right, let's dive into something pretty wild. I'm talking about the invisible symphony that's happening inside your body, right this very second. It's this incredible story about water, electricity, and this unbelievable balancing act that honestly is the only thing keeping you alive.
So you've probably heard this number before, right? 60%. That's roughly how much of you is just water. It's the most common thing in your body, by far. But, that simple fact actually opens up a huge and kind of weird question.
I mean, think about it. If you're mostly H2O, why aren't you just a walk-in talking puddle? What's the secret sauce? What is it about that water? And more importantly, what's dissolved in that water that lets you think and move and, be alive?
Okay, to get to the bottom of this, we have to start thinking about water differently. It's not just filler material, it's the stage. The entire drama of your biology plays out on this stage, and it's water's crazy unique chemistry that makes the whole show possible. So, the secret really starts at the teeny tiny molecular level. A water molecule, H2O, is what we call dipolar, and honestly, you can just think of it like a really small magnet. The oxygen end is a little bit negative, and the hydrogen ends are a little bit positive. That simple little imbalance, that polarity, well, that's its superpower. It changes everything. And because they're like tiny magnets, they stick to each other. The positive hydrogen of one molecule grabs onto the negative oxygen of another. We call these hydrogen bonds. Now, they're not super strong. They're constantly breaking and reconnecting. But this creates this incredible, dynamic, liquid web that holds itself together, but also lets things move through it. It's amazing. This unique structure is what gives water all of its superpowers. First, it's the universal solvent. It can dissolve almost anything with a charge, like salt, just by surrounding it. Second, it's the ultimate transporter. It's the liquid highway of your bloodstream, carrying all the important stuff around. And finally, it's a fantastic temperature regulator, soaking up heat and keeping your body from overheating. But here's the thing, all this water in your body isn't just sloshing around in one big tank. It's neatly divided into two main compartments. Most of it, about 2/3, is actually inside your cells. We call that the intracellular fluid, or ICF for short. The other third is everything outside the cells, your blood, the fluid between tissues. That's the extracellular fluid, or ECF. And this separation, it is so important. And this brings us to the really cool part, because dissolved in all that water is the secret ingredient that turns your body from a bag of water into a high-tech electrical grid. And that secret? It's all about electrolytes.
So, what exactly are electrolytes? Well, they're basically just minerals that get an electrical charge when you dissolve them in water. We're talking about things you've definitely heard of, like sodium, potassium, and chloride. Their main gig? To create an electrical imbalance between the inside and the outside of your cells.
And that imbalance creates essentially a tale of two totally different fluids. Let's put them side by side, the stuff outside your cells versus the stuff inside. You might assume they're pretty much the same, but oh boy, you'd be wrong. Just look at this. The difference is night and day. The fluid outside your cells is just swimming with sodium and chloride. But step inside a cell, almost no sodium. Instead, it is jam-packed with potassium. It is a completely different universe on either side of that thin little cell membrane. Now, this didn't just happen by accident. Your body works incredibly hard to maintain this imbalance. It's constantly burning energy to run these tiny pumps that kick sodium out and pull potassium in. I mean, a huge chunk of the calories you eat every day goes just to this. So why go to all that trouble? Because that separation of charge turns every one of your cells into a tiny battery. And that electrical potential, that's what powers every nerve firing, every muscle twitch, and literally every single thought you've ever had.
Okay, so we've got the stage, the water, we've got the power, the electrical grid, but none of it works without this final, incredibly high-stakes piece of the puzzle, a perfect chemical balance. We're talking about pH, and for your body, it is literally a matter of life and death.
And to get a grip on pH, you really only need to know two things. An acid is something that donates a hydrogen ion. A base is something that accepts a hydrogen ion. That's it. It's just a constant game of pass the proton.
The pH scale is just a way to measure how many of these hydrogen ions are floating around. But here's the really important part. The scale is logarithmic. That means going from a pH of 7 down to 6 isn't a small step, it's a 10 times increase in acidity. It's like the Richter scale for chemistry. A tiny change in the number means a massive change in reality.
And what's wild is your body is full of different pH zones. Your stomach, for instance, is like an acid bath to break down food. But your blood is a different story. It has to stay locked in this insanely narrow window, right around 7.4. If it moves even a little bit, like to 7.3 or 7.5, things go wrong, fast.
So how on earth does your body pull off this miracle? Well, it's got a 3-layer defense plan. The first line is instantaneous, chemical buffers in your blood. The second line kicks in within minutes, your lungs, which can breathe out more or less CO2 to tweak the pH. And the long-term solution, over hours or days, is your kidneys, which can literally filter out the problem.
Let's really dig into that first line of defense, because it's the fastest. These are your chemical buffers. You can think of them as a built-in 24/7 security detail that's always on patrol, ready to neutralize any pH threat instantly. So what is a buffer, really? It's basically a chemical team, a weak acid paired up with a weak base. This team acts like a sponge. If there's too much acid, it soaks up the extra hydrogen ions. If it's not acidic enough, it can squeeze some out. It's all about resisting change. And in your body, there is one buffer system that is the undisputed champion, the MVP. It's the carbon dioxide and bicarbonate system. I mean, this is the real workhorse that does most of the heavy lifting to keep your blood's pH perfectly stable. And the way it works is just genius. Check this out. Carbon dioxide, which is just a waste product from your cells, drifts into your red blood cells. An enzyme in there instantly transforms it into bicarbonate. That bicarbonate then gets shipped out into your blood where it's on standby, ready to gobble up any rogue acid. It's like the ultimate recycling program, turning trash into a life-saving treasure. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, it really is a symphony. Water is the concert hall. It provides the space for everything. The electrolytes, they're the power source for the orchestra, the electrical energy behind every single action. And the buffers, they're the conductors, making sure everything stays in perfect harmony, maintaining that delicate balance that is, quite literally, the music of life. So the next time you just take a simple breath or think a thought, just take a second to appreciate the silent, unbelievably complex chemistry that's making it all possible. It really just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other invisible miracles are happening inside you right now?